Now you may think that racing circuits and rallies are male-only domains, and even F1 boss Bernie Ecclestone has been recently quoted as saying that there will never again be a woman in F1. But I'm going to meet a few very successful women drivers who believe there's nothing to stop them becoming the next Eddie Irvine or Colin McRae. Natasha Bell is one such woman. Racing is her passion, and after success in MGs and a road-going Lotus Elise, she's moved on to this, a GT Motorsport Elise.
It's very much in the blood. My dad's raced all his life, and he's got his own business, Bell and Colville, and I've always been into speed, from riding trial bikes when I was 7, and then rode a lot of horse riding, and just always been into going fast, I think.
So what do you make of Bernie Ecclestone's comments about women in F1?
I think it's a great shame. And ultimately, I think it's been a little bit twisted what he said, because at the moment, if you look down the list, unfortunately, it doesn't look like there is a woman who could be going into F1. But I don't believe it's the case that they can't. I just think we need to be encouraging young girls to be go-karting and then take them up through the ranks of single-seating cars would be great. So I'd like to see some.
Great fun out there, Tasha. Really slippery a bit, you know.
That was great, really good fun, very slowly. Come on then, Claire, enough of the talking, your turn.
Ah, great, okay, yeah. So Natasha, I'm strapped in, I've got my 6-point harness on. What else do I need to know about the car?
Right, well, not a bad thing to find out how to start her.
Yep.
So you've got the red switch over the ignition, which goes up to the, yes.
Like that,
on.
okay.
Yep.
And then red button to start it?
No, that's
oh,
the
right.
fire extinguisher. It was still on the keys, then start it on the key
okay.
when you're ready to go. Then the other thing to know is you've got, in terms of changing gear, you've got a rev limiter on it.
Right.
And you've got a gear light, a little light here. So change gear at 7,800 revs on
right.
the light.
5-speed?
Yep, 5-speed. If you go too far, then you're going to hit the rev limiter.
Right.
The other thing to remember is it's pretty wet and damp today. You've got a mid-engine car with a close ratio box, so you're going to need to heel and toe. So that's matching the revs as you change down gear to get a smooth gear change. Other than that, I think you're ready to rock and roll.
Excellent. It's time for a bit of fun then. This car's fantastic. It's a race car bred from a race car to the road. It's got bags of power and bags of grip, even in this conditions. But most of all, it's just a great deal of fun. So why do you think there are so few women racing in Britain today?
It's fundamentally incredibly sexist. It's very, very difficult, and you've got to be really quite ballsy and brave to keep pushing through, because the inherent instinct is that you'll be useless. And I think that takes quite a lot of knocking after a while, so you've got to be fairly thick-skinned to keep going at that. And I think it's fundamentally girls tend to be less interested in motorised things, so it takes a certain type of person, I guess, to want to do it. You're generally excluded, so if someone came up to a group and said, who's driving this car, they'd never direct the question to you. The presumption would be you're just the girlfriend tagging along. The way in which a conversation's going, it's quite hard to be involved in the conversation, and you generally feel a little bit left out all the time. So it's quite hard to be included, and I think people generally just presume you won't be any good, so it just takes a while for people to actually kind of want to know you, I guess.
So do you think you've got more to prove than a male driver?
I suppose in a way you do, because you need to really establish yourself to then be considered that you're able to drive. So you've got to go out there and actually really show you can do it.
So on track, what are the differences between male and female drivers?
I think it's probably more an individual thing, but if I take myself personally and compare myself to a lot of guys, I'm inherently less aggressive, so close racing and dicing is not my favourite bit of racing. The driving is what I really like, and when it's very close and aggressive, I don't like it. I don't tend to block people, people will block me, and this feeling that in order to get past someone it might take actually having to knock them off just isn't my kind of cup of tea at all. So I think that's the inherent thing. And I think I'm potentially slightly smoother than some of the others, maybe more level-headed and just calmer, and I think that in its own right gives a kind of different style of driving.